place called home, full of love and family. And I'm there at the door, watching you come home to me. Through the years, I recall the day in your arms when I finally found my way to a place called home, and a life with you, where the days are long and the love is strong and the dreams are true. Just a place called home, you and I will always see. In the dark of the night, let your heart come home to me. To the place in my heart where you're always home with me. Through the years, I'll recall this day in your arms when I finally found my way to a place called home, and a life with you, where the days are long and the love is strong and the dreams are true. Just a place called home that my heart will always see. In the dark of the night, let your heart come home to me. To the place in my heart where you're always home with me.
Good morning, y'all. If we haven't met before, my name is Biss. I use he and she pronouns, and I will be filling in for Chris this morning. Reverend Chris can't join us because he's not feeling well. So, Chris, we're all holding you in our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers and hoping that you will feel better soon. Welcome to Lessons and Carols. I'm so glad that we can be here together this beautiful Christmas morning, whether you are in the building or online, in the flesh or in the spirit. Today we have elected not to use bulletins because some of the information was confusing. So we will do our best to guide you through the service from up here in the pulpit. All of the hymns that we're singing or the carols that we'll be singing this morning are in the gray hymnal. So any number that we say, it's the gray hymnal. So welcome, good to see y'all. Let's begin.
Please join me with the words by which we will light the chalice today. On this day of wonder and joy, we raise our voices in story and song to greet Christmas. May the lessons of compassion, trust, and generosity alight within us and lead us into the new day renewed.
The Persian poet Rumi wrote, God's joy moves from unmarked box to unmarked box, from cell to cell, as rainwater down into flower bed, as roses up from ground. Now it looks like a plate of rice and fish. Now a cliff covered with vines. Now a horse being saddled. God's joy hides within these till one day it cracks them open.
Come into Christmas by Ellen Fay. It is the winter season of the year, dark and chilly. Perhaps it is a winter season in your life, dark and chilly there too. Come into Christmas here. Let the light and warmth of Christmas brighten our lives and the world. Let us find in the dark corners of our souls the light of hope, a vision of the extraordinary in the ordinary. Let us find rest in the quiet of a holy moment to find promise and renewal. Let us find the child in each of us, the new hope, the new light born in us. Then will Christmas come. Then will magic return to the world. And now let us sing carol number 253 in the gray hymnal, O Come All Ye Faithful.
Joyful and
The Shortest Day by Susan Cooper. So the shortest day came and the year died, and everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing, dancing to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling through all the frosty ages. You can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight. This shortest day, a promise wakens in the sleeping land. They carol, fest, give thanks, and dearly love their friends and hope for peace. And so do we, here, now, this year, every year. Welcome, Yule. And now join me in singing hymn number 245, Joy to the World.
On Angels by Czesław Miłosz. All was taken away from you, white dresses, wings, even existence. Yet I believe you, messengers. There where the world is turned inside out, a heavy fabric embroidered with stars and beasts, you stroll, inspecting the trustworthy seams. Short is your stay here, now and then at a morning hour, if the sky is clear, in a melody repeated by a bird, or in the smell of apples at close of day, when the light makes the orchard's magic. They say somebody has invented you, but to me this does not sound convincing, for the humans invented themselves as well. The voice, no doubt it is a valid proof, as it can belong only to radiant creatures, weightless and winged. After all, why not? Girdled with the lightning. I have heard that voice many a time when asleep, and, what is strange, I understood more or less an order or an appeal in an unearthly tongue. Day draws near. Another one. Do what you can. And now let us sing hymn number 231 in the gray hymnal, Angels We Have Heard on High.
This reading is from Luke 2, 1 through 7. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria. And everyone went to their town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem and the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger because there was no guest room available for them.
A reading by Anthony Perino. A gentle kind of madness comes with the end of December, a winter solstice spell, perhaps, when people forget to remember the drab realities of fact, the cherished hurt of ancient wrongs, the lonely comforts of being deaf to human sighs and angel songs. Suddenly, they lose their minds to heart's demands and beauty's grace, and deeds extravagant with love give glory to the commonplace. Armies halt their marching, hatreds pause in strange regard for the sweet and gentle madness born when a wintry sky was starred. And now, if you will join me in hymn number 244, It Came Upon a Midnight Clear.
Each night a child is born, adapted from the poem by Sophia Leon Faz. For so the children come, and so they have been coming, always in the same way they came, born of the seed of life. No angels herald their beginnings, no prophets predict their future courses, no wise ones see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Parents sitting beside their children's cribs feel glory in the sight of a new beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end? Or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping.
Our next reading is from Luke 2, 8 through 14. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." Suddenly, a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth, peace to those on whom his favor rests."
In This Night by Dorothy Sola. In this night, the stars left their habitual places and kindled wildfire tidings that spread faster than sound. In this night, the shepherds left their posts to shout the news slogans into each other's clogged ears. In this night, the foxes left their warm burrows, and the lions spoke with deliberation. This is the end revolution. In this night, roses fooled the earth and began to bloom in the snow.
Luke 2, verses 15 through 20. When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby, who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told them about the child, and all who heard were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told.
The Camels Speak by Lynn Ungar. Of course, they never consulted us. They were wise men, kings, star readers, and we merely transportation. They simply loaded us with gifts and turned us towards the star. I ask you, what would a king know of choosing presents for a child? Had they ever seen a baby born to such simple folks, so naked of pretension, so open to the wind? And what would such a child care for perfumes and gold? Far better to have asked one born in the desert, tested by wind and sand. We saw what he would need, the gift of perseverance, of continuing on the hard way, making do with what there is, living on what you have inside. The gift of holding up under a burden, of lifting another with grace, of kneeling to accept the weight of what you must bear. Our footsteps could have rocked him with the rhythm of the road, shown him comfort in a harsh land, the dignity of continually moving forward. But the wise men were not wise enough to ask. They simply left their trinkets and admired the rustic view. Before you knew it, we returned again towards home, carrying men only half willing to be amazed. But never mind. We saw the baby, felt him reach for the bright tassels of our gear. We desert amblers have our ways of seeing what you chatterers must miss. That child, at heart, knows something about following a star. Our gifts are given. And now an offering will be taken and gratefully received. If this is your first time at First UU of Austin, your presence is a gift, so don't worry about the plates. Although it is a very bright and beautiful Christmas morning, let's call to mind the darkness that we have been living in at night in this wintertime. And now let us take into our hands a Christmas candle, a solstice candle in our minds. This is a night of ancient joy and ancient fear. Those who have gone before us were fearful of what lurked outside the ring of fire, of light and warmth. As we light this fire, we ask that the fullness of its flame protect each of us from what we fear most and guide us towards our perfect light and joy. May we each be encircled by the fire and warmth of love and by the flame of our friendship with one another. On this night, it was the ancient custom to exchange gifts of light, symbolic of the new light of the sun. Therefore, make ready for light. Light of star, light of candle, firelight, lamplight, love light. Let us share the gift of light.
The Work of Christmas by Howard Thurman. When the song of angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the brothers, to make music in the heart. And now please join me with the words by which we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we hold in our hearts until we are together again. For our closing words, Kneeling in Bethlehem by Anne Weems. It is now, or it is not over, this birthing. There are always newer skies into which God can throw stars. When we begin to think that we can predict the advent of God, then we can box the Christ in a stable in Bethlehem, that just the time that God will be born in a place we can't imagine and won't believe. Those who wait for God watch with their hearts and not their eyes, listening, always listening for angel words. And now, as we finish, if you will join us all in singing, "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."